You can learn about boundaries all over the internet, and many of the resources are excellent. A lot of the ways that boundaries are explained on the internet are explained almost from the perspective of someone who has boundaries. And I say this because when I was struggling with boundaries and it was affecting so many parts of my life, I went to many, many different resources and different people to find answers for my problems. And I did not know that it was a lack of boundaries that was causing problems in my life. But the interesting thing is that the experts that I went to see, and there was so many of them over the years, they also didn't seem to realize that so many of my challenges were coming from a place of not having proper boundaries. Now, it took me a really long time to discover this, to discover how to fix the problem, how to understand boundaries, what boundaries really are. And it took me a really long time to fix the problem. But I don't want you to have to spend the years and years and years that it took me. So I've put together all the knowledge that has helped me over the years, that I have learned from, that actually started making sense to me, the things that have actually moved the whole problem, because it's all well and dandy to say that boundaries are what is okay and what is not okay for us, which, by the way, is an excellent definition by Brené Brown. But the thing is, when people who have boundaries and who understand boundaries, it's something that is normal and natural to them because they grew up with it, they have learned it throughout their life and practiced it throughout most of their life, and often have had a lot of people around them that are also boundary people. When those people talk about boundaries and explain boundaries and even try and help you to get boundaries yourself, they miss a few of the sticking points, because while boundaries is easy, I mean, we can define it in that one little tiny sentence, the way Brené Brown defines it, to actually get to a place where the boundaries start clicking for you and you yourself actually start realizing that you deserve boundaries, and it starts making sense to you why you want to have them in your life, and how you can do that without changing who you are, but rather by becoming more of who you are. Because the way that I understand boundaries now, that I've mastered them, or at least gotten to a place where I'm functioning on more of the level where people who have boundaries function, I now think of them as basically boundaries are when we are really being true to ourselves, when we are really living our own truth and embracing who we really are. Because at the end of the day, if we are really being ourselves, then we are going to have boundaries in our life, because who we are, what we want, what we need, things that we need to communicate with the world around us, with the people around us, are going to be a natural way that we're going to engage with the world. So this is the way I think about boundaries now. And I want to take you on a journey to be able to get there yourself, to be able to figure out how boundaries can make sense in your life, really make sense. Not just, self-control and like trying to remember to speak up for yourself and, all the cliche things, not those things. Actually growing into yourself in a really profound and real way, and so that boundaries become more natural for you, a more natural expression of just confidently being yourself. So that's what I want to help you to do. I hope you come on the journey with me.